Build your dreams, live rich, and leave rich.
All right, let's talk about money. But forget the stock tips, forget all the get-rich-quick noise. We're going after the real prize, finding a way to actually build your dreams and get to a place of lasting financial peace. That's what this is all about. Seriously, just take a second and think about this. What would it feel like to wake up in the morning and not have that little hum of anxiety about money? To feel confident, to feel in control, knowing your family is safe and your future is secure. That feeling, that's the real goal we're chasing here.
Okay, so to get to that place of peace, we've got to be brutally honest about where most of our financial decisions really come from.
I mean, you know this scene, right? We see a colleague buy a piece of land, we hear a relative say it's a sure thing, so we just do the same. We copy what everyone else is doing because it feels safe. But here's the thing, familiar is not the same as wise. These are totally unexamined decisions, and believe me, they can be incredibly costly.
So let's do a quick reality check. Be honest with yourself. Do you know this number right now off the top of your head? Not your salary, but your actual net worth. It's the number that tells the real story of where you actually stand.
Or what about this one? This hits close to home for so many of us. We buy these investment policies, maybe for tax savings, maybe just because it's what our parents always did. But we almost never stop to ask if they provide the actual protection our family would need in a real medical emergency. It's such a common gap, and it's a dangerous one. And finally, the big one, retirement. Do you have a real plan? A number you're working towards? Or is the plan kind of just to hope for the best and see what happens? Look, if these questions are making you a little uncomfortable, that's a good thing. That's the first step towards making a real change. So what happens when we take this tea break approach? What are the actual consequences? Well, they aren't just theoretical. They come with a real and often very high cost. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Just look at this story. It's so common. You buy a plot of land and it looks like a great deal on paper, but a big chunk is paid in cash, which right away creates tax headaches. Then for a decade, that money is just stock. It's useless if you have an emergency. Then you go to sell it, and guess what? The buyer wants to do the exact same cash deal. It's just a cycle of stress. And the result? After a decade of all that hassle, the actual return, the compound annual growth rate, is about 7.2%. You probably could have gotten returns like that from way simpler, safer investments that you could have accessed anytime. So you have to ask yourself, was it really worth it? Especially for a goal like a child's education, this was just the wrong tool for the job. This little story just illustrates the two mindsets perfectly. That land investment? That is the Siva approach. It's reactive, it's stressful, and in the end, it's just not that efficient. The goal is to be like Krishna, to build calm, repeatable systems. Instead of constantly reacting to life, you prepare for it. And that creates a lifetime of peace and consistency. Okay, so we've seen the problem, we've seen the consequences. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about the solution. And it's not about finding some magic investment. It's about shifting from random, stressful actions to a clear, simple structure. This right here, this is our destination, financial peace. And notice, it's not about having the most money. It's a state of being. And it's built on a super simple but incredibly powerful idea. You protect your family first. Once that's locked down, then you can go chase returns without all the anxiety. And that is exactly what we're here to do. We're going to help you avoid those silent financial disasters that can just wipe out years of hard work. This isn't just a bunch of information. It's about building systems based on some really hard-won wisdom. So how do we actually build these systems? Let's use a really simple metaphor. We're going to build a house. And you can't start with the roof, right? For the whole thing to be strong and secure, you have to build it in the right order, from the ground up. And here it is. Here is that blueprint. It's 4 simple, logical steps. We start with a solid foundation, awareness of where you really are. Then we build the walls of protection. Only when those are secure do we put on the roof of investing. And finally, we furnish the whole house with a clear legacy. We're going to walk through each one. So first things first, the foundation is awareness. This is all about understanding that a big salary doesn't automatically make you safe, especially if your spending is even bigger. It's about knowing your real net worth and realizing that money locked up in something like land is basically useless in an emergency. Now, with that foundation of awareness poured, we build the walls, and the walls are protection. And honestly, this quote says it all. For anyone wondering, ITC is a big luxury hotel chain in India. The point is, one single uninsured medical emergency can literally destroy decades of savings. Protection isn't an option, it is the absolute number one priority. Only after your protective walls are built, only then do you put on the roof, which is your investing. And the rule here is incredibly simple. Every single rupee gets a job. Money you need for your kid's college in 5 years has a very different job than money for your retirement in 30 years. When you get crystal clear on the purpose, choosing the right investment becomes almost obvious. And finally, we furnish the house with your legacy. And this is about so much more than money. It's about making sure the wealth you've worked so hard to build is a blessing for your family, not a burden. It means leaving behind clarity and simple instructions so they aren't dealing with confusion and stress during an already difficult time. When we pull all this together, it really forces us to ask a much bigger question. What is the real measure of success? What does it actually mean to be rich? It's not about a number in a bank account. It's a feeling. It's the deep down security of knowing you've built a financial fortress that is so strong that when life's storms hit, and they will hit, they can't knock you down. That is the ultimate return on investment, a life free from money anxiety. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. It's something you can actually measure. Take a look at these pillars of security. Do you have 100% protection? Do you have a fully funded emergency fund? Is every single investment you have tied to a specific goal? This is what real security looks like on paper. So I'll leave you with this one last thought. Forget what everyone else is doing. Forget the tea break advice. The true measure of your wealth is how peacefully you sleep at night. So ask yourself, is your money buying you peace of mind?